Okay, this is part 2. Here we have, again, all the seeds are planted inside the pot. And I push the pot down, push all the dirt down so the seed goes down inside of the pot. After these seeds grow for a while, they first will come up as little teeny tiny tendrils, and then they'll get to be bigger and bigger. And soon they'll need to go into a bigger pot. And that's what we saw down at the other end of the house with the larger plants that have already come up. With this particular, I'm using this particular seed and plant right here. I'm using a seedling mix, and because it's so porous, I'm going to water the actual floor, because this type of pot has holes in its feet, and so it soaks up water right up to feed the plant, so it doesn't push all the seeds out. It doesn't overwater the seeds. And every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll start another batch over here, so that by the end of the summer I'll have lettuce continuously, and I'll have food for my family to eat and food to sell to other people. Here's my yard. It's kind of bright out today. And I'm going to read you this book, The Everything Seed, A Story of Beginnings. And this takes a little while, this book does, so beautiful artwork. The Everything Seed by Carol Martignaco and illustrated by Joy Troyer. Have you ever watched a seed grow? Have you ever noticed how it begins so small, so still, so quiet, like a gift wanting to be opened? And how it slowly, slowly, slowly wakes up and begins to unfold, growing into something even larger and larger and larger, until it finally, whatever comes from a seed usually ends up looking very little like the seed from when it began, which is also true of the very first seed. Once, a long time ago, way back before the beginning, so long ago, there was no such thing as time, because there was no one there to count it. Everywhere was a huge, deep, mysterious place, like something waiting to happen. There were no stars and no sun or moon. There was no place like Earth, not a drop of water, or a single tree, or a rock, or a flower, and no living beings anywhere. But in that deep, waiting space was hidden the tiniest point of something no bigger than a seed. It was not a flower seed. It was not an oak tree seed. It was not a seed of corn, although all those things were included in that seed. You might call it the everything seed, because that is what it became. No one knows where that first seed came from, or how it was planted, or how it knew, in the way that only seeds seem to know, how long to wait for just the right moment to sprout and grow. But all at once, this tiny seed, cradled and nourished in the rich soil of space, woke up, broke open, and began to unfold, unfolding and unfolding, unfolding and blossoming forth, blossoming forth. into an enormous blazing ball of bright light. Like a great giant grandmother's sun. And the universe was born. Out fluttered the galaxies like a storm of snowflakes swirling and gathering into the brightest and most blindingly beautiful cloud of stars. And out of those star clouds whirled our own star, the one that we call the sun, and our earth, and our moon, and all around the spinning planets that we knew to name. And this is the secret of the tiny seed. You and I were there in the very beginning. Just as the idea for each leaf is there in the big oak tree, lies hidden inside an acorn. We were there with all the stars and planets and rocks, the oceans and plants and animals and people. Everything that is now, ever was, or ever will be was inside that first tiny seed. So whenever you hold a seed in your hand and you wonder what it could become, imagine how you and all that is here once came from the tiniest speck of an everything seed, before it sprouted and grew long, long ago in the way back beginning of time. Now, if this were an ordinary story, it would end right here, but this is not an ordinary story. This is the story of the universe, and it keeps unfolding. What once began in a blazing blossom of light continues every day. New stars sprout open, new plants and animals appear in the earth, seeds of many kinds are scattered everywhere to help us remember. What a beautiful tree that is. To help us remember. And new people are born every day with a spark of that first light still alive and burning deep inside, waiting. Like the everything seed to shine in ways that are yet to be known. The everything seed, a story of beginnings. And you little tiny friends, Desmond and Pippa and Frankie and Asa, Mirabai, Inga, Theo, you can start your seeds at home now, and we could talk about them when we get to see each other next. I love you. Have a healthy time.